like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By Gillette Mach 3 Turbo for the closest shave with less irritation even against the grain. And by Sprint, proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phones. Oh, it's got a different feel here tonight. It's got a different electricity here tonight, and Andy Pettitte is going to be asked by his teammates to do what he did against Minnesota in the division series, and that is get a win in Game 2. Here's the lineup for the Red Sox, brought to you by State Farm. Gabe Kapler leads it off, then Bill Miller bats second. Nomar Garciaparra 0 for 5 last night, hits third. Manny Ramirez homered. In fact, he had 4 hits last night. David Ortiz got the scoring started for Boston. Kevin Millar, Jason Varitek, Trot Nixon, and Damian Jackson in the lineup, not just because he's a right-handed bat, but because of the way he plays second base with the sinker baller Derek Lowe on the mound. But for the Yankees, it's a left-hander throwing better now than maybe he ever has in his big league life, Andy Pettitte.
He has rarely been as dominant as he was in Game 2 in the divisional series against the Minnesota Twins. So he's off that performance. A lot of ground balls. He faced 29 hitters for the Twins, and he gave up 3 fly balls, 2 for outs, and 1 home run to Torrey Hunter.
Gabe Kapler first up for the Red Sox. And the ball drops low and away. The home plate umpire is Terry Kraft tonight. And you see what Kapler's done this postseason, looking for his first. On the corner, 1-1. Again, it'll be Kapler, then Miller, then Garciaparra against Andy Pettitte, who his last 5 starts is 5-0 with a 1.45 ERA. To the left side, Jeter. No chance. And it's an infield hit for Kapler and a good start for Boston as Gabe Kapler gets his first hit of the postseason.
And that is one of the big differences between Derek Jeter and Nomar Garciaparra. Garciaparra will charge a ball like that, plant the foot, and throw sidearm. Jeter likes to jump to make that play.
Yeah, he does that different than most shortstops. Most shortstops will go get that ball, set their feet, and throw. But he's been very successful with that jump throw that you see him do quite a bit.
But that deep in the hole with Kapler's speed, no chance, even if he came away in that exchange cleanly. And now with a runner at first and nobody out, it's Bill Miller, the AL batting champ, with an average of .326 during the regular season. That's low for ball 1. If you talk to Joe Torre, he will tell you that Andy Pettitte throws harder now than he did a couple of years ago. And if you talk to Brett Boone, he'll tell you, you never know what you're going to get out of Andy Pettitte. He is unpredictable.
He is. The only thing you can predict a little bit with Andy is the situation of the game. He will pitch you a little different. For instance, runner on third base, less than 2 outs. He's going to try to get that ground ball. He's going to try to jam you. He's probably going to throw your cutters in on your hands. And at worst, he's going to walk in that situation.
Well, you've got a ground ball situation right here.
Look for him probably to come inside with that cutter.
1 ball, no strikes on Bill Miller. Had a hit last night, only 3 this entire postseason. Everybody wondered where the Red Sox offense went in that divisional series, and they hit just .211. Well, last night it showed up. 5 runs, 13 hits, 3 home runs. And as a team, they led the American League by hitting .289 during the regular season. Saw Johnny Damon on the bench. He looked terrific taking batting practice before this game. He's close. 2-0. Boy, that's great hair. And you've got an entire dugout filled with guys with shaved heads.
Yeah, he's the only one with hair.
And I mean, he's to the extreme.
He's been working on it all year.
Yeah.
That's what he told me.
I mean, that's postseason hair right there.
The haircut after the World Series, the Red Sox hope.
A 2-0 pitch. Miller. 2-1. The rest of the group, with the exception of Nomar Garciaparra, you just walk in their clubhouse, and in the bathroom area, the clubhouse here at Yankee Stadium, they're just little piles of hair from different spots in front of the mirror. It's an ongoing process. 2-1 pitch. Pettitte shows that good pickoff throw over to first. I would imagine no runner no matter how accomplished, is ever comfortable taking a lead against Andy Pettitte.
Even though Andy didn't pick off anybody this year, he does have 67 pickoffs since breaking in 1995. That's the most in the majors. Not only does he prevent stolen bases, but keeps them close at first.
That's in for a strike. It's 2-2.
And by keeping them close to first base in double play situations, he doesn't give the runner a chance to get down on second baseman, something you've got to appreciate.
I do. I don't like those guys coming in on.
This crowd was quiet for the most part last night, trying to help these Yankees win game 2. Full count. Garciaparra waiting on deck.
Contact hitter. Andy Pettitte with a good move. If Kapler is running, and I assume he will be, you must make sure Pettitte throws home. You cannot be picked off in this situation.
Kapler did go. He did make sure, and Miller got a good rip and fouled it straight back.
Fastball to hit right here. Belly button high. Hitters love that.
Last night's starter and winner for the Red Sox, Tim Wakefield. Runner goes. The pitch is strike. The throw down. Double play.
It's up to the hitter to make contact. It's unusual for Miller to freeze on that pitch, but because Kapler was not able to get a good jump, they have him by about 4 feet at second base.
So now 2 out, nobody on, and Garciaparra steps in. Ball 1.
Garciaparra not using his white bat tonight. He's back to the black bat that he's been using all season.
Right up the middle.
And he got in
with that black bat. And he's on with a 2-out single.
I know that all too well, because I usually don't use a black bat, but occasionally when nothing's working, I'll go to it.
In this ultra-fair booth, I will say that Brett Boone called my attention to that before the game, and I did not know that. But he went 0 for 4 with the white bat last night, and tonight he uses the black one, and he gets a base hit his first time up as you take one more look at that strikeout double play.
Well, there's just certain guys that you notice always use the same bat. Alex always used a black bat. Second half of this season, he's using a white bat.
Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah, and got hot.
In the dirt, ball 1 to Manny Ramirez, who is a guy who has handled Andy Pettitte. 4 home runs. This includes postseason. A .418 average against this Yankee left-hander. Manny Ramirez, who grew up in Washington Heights, a New York native. Lines one hard and off the glove of Soriano. Garciaparra will go to third. And it's first and third with 2 out on another Manny Ramirez hit.
Just shows you how important that throw by Posada was. The Red Sox have 3 hits in this inning and nothing to show for it so far.
You look at that play. That ball, Brett, was scorched, but Soriano was able to get a glove on it.
I mean, it's hit hard. You've got to make the decision right off the bat. You're either going to go get it or you're going to back up a couple steps. But sometimes when it's hit that hard, you know, you're going to just try to hope it goes in. In that situation, it didn't. But, I don't know. It's a do or die. It's a do or die.
Soriano, 19 errors this season. Sets up first and third for Ortiz. Last night, Ortiz in the 4th. Broke an 0 for 20 streak against Mike Mussina with that shot into the front of the upper deck. That made it 2-0, and the Red Sox won it 5-2. On the corner, it's 0-2.
You might think that, like most left-handers, that Andy Pettitte would be dominant against left-handed batters. As you see here, that is not the case.
Ball one.
Ortiz, a guy with 2 strikes who will go the opposite field. He has done that in Fenway Park all year. The green monster in left field, very inviting at Fenway.
Two balls, 2 strikes. The more you hang around these Red Sox, the more they will tell you that in the clubhouse, in the dugout, and on the field with a bat in his hands, David Ortiz has made the biggest difference from a year ago. And you consider what he did in the second half down the stretch. 7 home runs this season against Yankee pitching, including the one last night. It was 0-2, and now it's 3-2.
Nick Johnson trying to get Andy Pettitte's attention to tell him that he's going to play behind him at first. The Yankees don't do that often because of the Pettitte move.
The bases are loaded with 2 out. So the Red Sox in the inning have 3 singles, a walk, still no runs. Lost a man, Kapler on the bases, and the inning falls into the lap of Kevin Millar. Last night 2 hits and RBI. In the postseason 7 hits. The Red Sox with a chance to take this, at least at the beginning, loud Yankee Stadium crowd right out of it.
Staple pitch, the cutter inside.
This one down and away, ball 1.
Yeah, he missed with it. He missed by about a foot.
Jorge set up inside and just didn't throw where he's trying to.
So 1 ball, no strikes on Kevin Millar. Should end the inning. Jeter. No score after a half. The division series he had against Oakland. Here's the starting lineup for the Yankees, brought to you by State Farm. It'll be Soriano, then Jeter and Giambi, the DH. Bernie Williams, Jorge Posada, and Matsui in left field. With Nick Johnson, Aaron Boone, and Kareem Garcia getting the start tonight, taking the place of Juan Rivera. And doing so against this right-hander who was involved in 3 of the 5 division series games. He had a record of 0-1, but an ERA of under 1, and got that big save on Monday night in Game 5. Soriano first up. Shows bunt, takes a strike. Nothing in 2.
As Booney said in the opening, a dominant ground ball pitcher. How dominant? The most dominant ground ball pitcher in the major leagues. Almost 80% of his pitches on which contact was made on the ground.
Yeah, he just moves in. I mean, he's going to throw that sinker pretty much every pitch. And he'll just change speeds with it. He'll throw 185, 190.
Would you categorize it as a heavy sinker or no?
Not a heavy sinker. It's not one that, you know, some guys like a Maddox, Kevin Brown, it comes off your bat like a bowling ball. You know, it's tough to lift it. It doesn't feel like that coming off his bat. It's kind of floating up there, but it just moves so much that you miss it or you foul tip, and you keep foul tipping it, and it drives you nuts.
0-2 to Soriano. Another foul tip, and it's still 0-2.
That was an interesting question, Joe, because of the heavy pitches that a pitcher throws, any ball that goes down is much heavier than any ball that stays on the same plane. A two-seam fastball is heavier than a four-seam fastball, for instance. And that's why often they hit guys like Lowe on the ground. You hit the top half of the ball.
Another 0-2.
Well, I'll give you an example. The example is Rivera. He's come up, he's always been a cutter baller.
Right.
Now he's got that two-seamer. That's a heavy ball. If he jams you with that, you know you're jammed. You know? And his got a lot more action on it, but it breaks sooner. The one with late break.
This pitch swung on and believed foul tip into the glove of Pettitte for out number 1, a strikeout. And here's the scouting report.
And you could flip-flop those. For Andy Pettitte, you can say, see Derek Lowe. Both pitchers, ground ball pitchers, one sinker after another. And I think all baseball fans in America are familiar with that strikeout pitch to Terrence Long to win it for the Red Sox. This one, however, different. Diving out of the strike zone with Soriano.
So with one out, here's Jeter. Last night had a 9-game hitting streak in the postseason snapped. 0 for 4, and it was Wakefield doing it to him. One at bat against Timlin. That ball stays down, and that's strike 1. Everybody wants to talk about the stats as you look at Wakefield, who historically has been good in Yankee Stadium. You think about Derek Lowe, his ERA on the road this year for a 17-game winner was 6.11. So again, here are the Red Sox. They basically had their rotation backward. Instead of having Pedro pitch in a game 1 because they had to use him in game 5 in the division series, he's not available until Saturday. Lowe is a guy they would love to pitch at Fenway Park, but they have to use him here tonight. And as Tim said in the opening, if the Red Sox can sneak out of here with another win, they go home. They have Pedro Martinez pitching on Saturday afternoon. Garciaparra. 2 up, 2 down. And Joe Torre may have been joking about it, saying this is a must-win situation, and then saying if we don't win, on Saturday I'll tell you it wasn't a must-win situation. This is pretty close to a must-win situation.
It really is. That term is bandied about often in baseball. This is a must-win, big game, big game. You play so many games, you're not sure what's a big game. But this is huge for the Yankees. If they lose this one, they're in real trouble.
With 2 out, Giambi takes a ball.
Timmy, if they lose this, is Saturday a must-win?
Yeah.
Oh,
then Saturday's a big game. That was Torrey's point.
What about Sunday?
Sunday would be a big game.
That'd be even bigger if they lose Saturday.
Right.
1 ball, no strikes. With 2 out, nobody on. Giambi has had minimal impact so far in the postseason. 4 out of 19 with 2 RBIs.
Giambi's had a tough time getting around on the high fastball. And now he's going to get a low fastball. When you're behind in the count, you try to stay away from a hitter like Giambi. Not there. That's dangerous.
But it missed, and it's 3-0.
I'm surprised Pettitte is setting up inside. When a pitcher's behind in the count, that is not a jamming situation. You don't want to come inside to a hitter.
Now away and on the corner, 3-1.
The only thing about that is I think what he's doing with that pitch is he wants Giambi to give up on the ball. Because it has so much late sink to it, you give up on it, you think it's a ball, and it comes back on the inner half of the plate.
3-1 pitch. He checked his swing, and it's a 2-out walk.
Just a point, Joe, as this pitch misses outside to Giambi, who walks a lot, over 100 times again this year. But contributing to Derek Lowe's problems on the road, perhaps, are on the road, a pitcher pitches off of different mounds. A hitter hits out of, for the most part, the same batter's boxes. But a pitcher pitches off of different mounds. The slope may be different in different ballparks. He's 6'6". Fenway Park's got to be to his liking. He's been so successful there. It might be a contributing factor.
He's a guy that led the league with 42 saves in 2000. Came back and was 5-10 the next year with only 24 saves. They were booing him off the mound night after night. Now he's a starter, and he's gone 38-15 the last 2 years in that role. He misses with ball 1 to Bernie Williams. Misses with ball 2. Bernie Williams, 5th on the all-time LCS average list, right behind number 4, Dusty Baker, who is sitting in a hotel somewhere in South Florida watching this game. And a 2-hopper to Garciaparra. That'll do it for the Yankees in the first. Boston stranded 3. The Yankees lead 1. And after 1, game 2. No score. The second, there's no score. The Red Sox with 3 singles and a walk, but no damage done against Pettitte, who threw only 1 first pitch strike in that first inning and threw a total of 22 pitches. Pettitte first up. And he takes a strike. Pettitte, then Nixon, then Damian Jackson. Jason Pettitte, the one who tied that Game 5 on Monday night with a home run against Zito. Later in the inning, a 3-run shot by Manny Ramirez. It's 0-2 on the Boston catcher.
Fastball. Can't shake that many times.
That's down the right field line and fair into the corner. Pettitte will cruise into second. The throw by Garcia is too late, and it's a leadoff double.
We talked about that several times. When a pitcher shakes his head yes, and then shakes his head yes, he's shaking it for the pitch first and for location second. And when you do that to a catcher, the one thing you can eliminate, you saw the shaking of the head twice. You can eliminate the off-speed pitch, fastball away. Pettitte went to Georgia Tech. He's a smart guy. Double.
Did you know that, Boone? You can take that back with you.
I went to USC.
You can take that back with you to Seattle next year. If a pitcher nods his head twice, look for the fastball.
Well, think about it.
And what if he throws me the breaking pitch?
He's not going to do that.
I'm going to go looking for Timmy.
That's
email Tim.
The reason he's not going to throw you a breaking pitch is because all breaking pitches locations are implied. Come on.
That's a catcher.
Fastball's the one you move from inside to outside. So if you shake your head yes, yes, I want the fastball. Shake your head again, yes, I want it either inside or outside. Eliminate all the other pitches. Come on.
Nixon dumps one into center field. Pettitte will go to third, and it's first and third, nobody out. So there's a lefty, Nixon, getting a hit against Pettitte. And a big scoring chance for the Boston Red Sox here in the second with a number 9-man Jackson coming up.
One of the big reasons that Andy Pettitte has not been that successful throughout his career against left-handers, he doesn't have that tailing fastball coming in on the hand. That ball sailing out over the middle of the plate. And Nixon hit it very hard up the middle.
So Pettitte was in a ton of trouble in the first, got out of it. And now with first and third, nobody out, here's Damian Jackson with a chance to put Boston on top.
And this is the situation where he usually comes with that cutter in. Try to get that ground ball to third base.
At third baseman is Aaron Boone. He is in.
I was wrong again.
And ball one drops low.
Looks like the infield, the middle infielders, Booney, are playing unusually shallow. I know they're cheating for a double play, but Jackson's such a fast runner. I don't know if you're going to get two on this. Be more inclined to come home, right? Not up the middle, but at third or first.
But it's up to the first and the third baseman to make that judgment once the ball, how hard it's hit. You know, if it's a soft roller, Veritek follows the play in, they're going to go home. But if it's a one-hop shot, Aaron's probably going to check the runner back and try to turn a double play.
Nixon
Timmy,
back easily.
I feel funny saying Aaron.
What do you call him?
Arnie?
Arnie?
That's Arnie.
Oh, Arnie.
Arnie.
As in Palmer?
I don't know. It's just his nickname.
Arnie.
One ball, one strike on Damian Jackson. First and third, nobody out. Talked about it during the lineup portion of the telecast that Jackson's really in there for his defensive work, playing behind the sinker balling Derek Lowe. And now the Red Sox ask for a big hit out of a guy who hit .261 during the regular season. Into center field, 3 straight hits, and the Red Sox lead by 1. Kind of a jam shot into center, and after a leadoff double, a pair of singles, and Boston still has 2 on with nobody out.
Looked like Andy tried to come inside on Jackson, and that ball staying out over the middle of the plate just like it did to Trot Nixon. The cutter isn't cutting.
He's just not quite getting it to the location he wants to get it to.
So a meeting on the mound as Mel Stottlemyre goes out to talk with Andy Pettitte. Our Sprint Virtual Manager question: which curse is worse to you? Curse of the Bambino or the Billy Goat? The Red Sox or the Cubs? To answer today's question, use your PCS Vision phone from Sprint or log on to foxsports.com, which we can either type in our answer here, or Brett, you could get the number and call the guy who told you to tell your brother how to hit on your way into the stadium this afternoon here at Yankee Stadium. Arnie. He got on you too.
Right. Huh?
He got on McCarver
got
too.
On me. He asked me what color I was going to color my hair next year. Here's a 28-year-old that doesn't have any hair getting on me.
He didn't get on my hair.
No, he didn't.
He must really
but
like
it.
But he should.
But he should have.
With 2 on and nobody out. Back to the top of the order. Kapler grounds 1 to Jeter. He'll take it himself. Double play. 2 out.
Easy turn for Derek Jeter. Close enough to second to take it himself.
So a big double play turned by the Yankees as they try to limit the damage. It's a runner at third, 2 out, and Miller coming up. Miller takes a strike. Already 6 hits on the board for Boston. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's a 6. There's just a light bulb that's out.
Good work, Joe.
Thanks. Hey, it made me look. I looked up there first and had to check. 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Garciaparra would be next if Miller can keep this inning alive. What a difference a series makes. Only 7 base runners total in the 7 innings against Minnesota. Having a tough time getting ahead of these hitters is Andy Pettitte, and then in this inning when he's been ahead, he's been leaving balls over the heart of the plate to be hit. 3-1 now on Miller. Full count. Stays up there.
I think Bill's probably thinking about that first 3-2 pitch he took. He has swung at 2 balls out of the strike zone. He doesn't want to get called out again.
He was at the plate on the front end of a strike him out, throw him out double play in the first. Left side for Aaron Boone. Tough play. Good play, and the inning is over. 3 straight hits to start the inning. Only 1 run on the board for the Boston Red Sox as Pettitte limits the damage. But Boston strikes first. They lead in the series, and they lead in Game 2.
Check this out. I'm sitting next to your new boyfriend. Don't you just love your new boyfriend?
I do love him.
As long as you're happy.
Picture mail that talks from Sprint. At Sprint stores, choose from a wide selection of picture phones starting at $99.99. Share it when it happens.
Before you take Prilosec OTC for heartburn, there's something you should know. You have to keep taking it for 14 days, heartburn or not. I'd rather take one Pepcid, just when I need it. Pepcid Complete starts controlling acid in seconds. Or there's new maximum strength Pepcid AC. It has double the strength of original Pepcid AC. Both last all day or all night. 1. Now, that's a number I can live with. Pepcid, just 1, and heartburn's done.
Do you have the right truck?
Hi, black coffee to go.
Does your truck have better resale value than Ford and Dodge? A Silverado half-ton pickup does.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey, is this your truck? What's it going for?
What do you mean, what's it going for?
Let me make you an offer.
It's not for sale.
Leave it here. It's for sale.
It's not for sale.
Silverado. It's the right truck from Chevy.
With AOL pop-up controls, you can block unwanted web pop-up ads with a single click. Life needs less clutter. Don't you think?
The League Championship Series on Fox brought to you by Chevy Silverado. It's the right truck. By Staples, that was easy. By Pepcid Complete, just 1 and heartburn's done. And by America Online, look for 9.0 optimized coming this fall. That's our shot from the moon up above.
Shot of the moon, Joe.
Shut up, sorry. We're good with those prepositions. As the pitch is outside for a ball to Jorge Posada. Posada, Matsui, Nick Johnson. 1-0 Boston on the RBI hit by Damian Jackson. 2-0.
Is Ed here tonight?
Our guy in the upper deck,
Yeah.
Ed Hillel.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he was an instant celebrity. 3-0. Ed is not here. Josh Mandelbaum not here.
No. 18-year-old Josh Mandelbaum.
There's a strike to Jorge Posada, 3-1. It was Josh's hand that actually touched the ball down the line in front of the pole last night off the bat of Walker. It was Ed Hillel who told the world that it clearly would have gone foul from his vantage point on the other side of the pole. A leadoff walk to Jorge Posada. There will be a special investigative report on that play coming up in the middle of the 7th inning. That's all I'll say. It definitively answers the question if the ball hit the foul pole. Here's Matsui. 1 for 2 last night with an RBI.
We asked Joe Torre in our meeting tonight if he would hit and run, obviously against a ground ball pitcher. That's the pitcher you want to hit and run against. He said absolutely. The 3 guys he will not hit and run with: Soriano, Giambi, and Bernie Williams. But Matsui, the ideal guy with whom to hit and run, because he hits all the ground balls anyway. Most in the American League this year.
Came to the States with his nickname Godzilla. And with the start he had, they started calling him Groundzilla as he grounds one to Jackson in the force out at second, 1 on, 1 out. That was about the time the Yankees rolled into Cincinnati and Joe Torre pushed Matsui down in the order. He got hot and then for about a month just carried this offense and ended up in his first season here with 106 RBIs. Here's Nick Johnson. Johnson steps in only 1 out of 16 in the postseason.
After ending the season 1 for his last 17.
You add those together and it's like 2 for
Quit it.
0-1 the count on Johnson.
Carry the 1.
1 on, 1 out. Yankees down by a run here in the second, and that's hammered. And that's 2-1 New York. Aaron Boone takes a strike.
Nick Johnson hit a tailing fastball that didn't tail. That ball was straight as a string. You could see Lowe's reaction, immediately lowering his head.
Miller takes care of Boone. And there are 2 outs in the inning.
Think it might have been a slider?
I think he's cutting it. Yeah. He's not going to cut it to the righties. He'll cut it to the lefties. I mean, that's not his pitch, but once in a while he'll throw it. Just a little. He threw one to Giambi earlier.
Difference between a cut fastball and a slider is considerable.
Yeah, slider's going to break a lot more. cutter's going to be a slider break, and it's going to be a harder pitch.
And a little later break, too.
Later, yeah.
Now with 2 out, here's the number 9 hitter, Garcia. Kareem takes a strike.
His cutter's probably going to be around 87, and his slider's probably going to be around 82.
But left at about 130. Hard hit. Good play by Garciaparra, who stays down on it. The inning is over. A walk to start the inning. Then a force out. And then this. A ton of base runners for Boston so far, but the Yankees carry it 2-1 lead. The Yankees out in front 2-1 on a 2-run shot in the bottom of the second, and now here in the third it'll be the 3, 4, and 5 men for Boston. Garciaparra, Ramirez, and David Ortiz against Pettitte. That's strike 1.
First Yankee lead of these 2 games.
Varitek, the catcher for the Red Sox, talking it over with Derek Lowe. That dugout has seen the Boston Red Sox all over the bases, but they've only dented home plate once. A walk and a blast put New York out in front as Garciaparra takes the ball. Talked last night about Larry Lucchino, who's the president of this Boston Red Sox team, describing the Yankees as the evil empire when they won the bidding war for Jose Contreras. Standing by with the principal owner of the Red Sox, John Henry, is our own Kenny Albert. Kenny?
Joe, I am with Red Sox owner John Henry, and John, your team president Larry Lucchino has referred to the Yankees as the evil empire. How has it been sitting here with Larry amongst fans of the evil empire?
Well, I don't call them that. I think it's a great franchise, great tradition. They've got 4 rings in the last few years. But it's great to be here. A beautiful night in New York.
Now, you were a limited partner with the Yankees for over a decade. In your wildest dreams, when you purchased the Red Sox less than 2 years ago, could you ever have imagined this?
Oh, well, yes. Could very well imagine on your way to a World Series, this would be a place you'd want to stop.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
Joe?
Kenny, thanks. 1 out, nobody on, and another pop-up. This one into shallow right, and Garcia recovers, gets there, 2 out. The reaction from Ramirez, who singled his first time up and is 29 out of 69 now after that little pop-up for the second out.
He was disgusted, but major league hitters don't hit that ball hard often. That ball's actually too high, right around the letters. When you're talking about a pitcher who throws the ball up or a mistake, you're talking about one right in here. That ball was right here. It's too high. Even though he threw his bat, you could tell Manny that pitch was coming. And if he does hit it hard, he's going to pull it foul.
Now it's Ortiz who threw a walk to load the bases in the first, but Millar popped up. And the Red Sox stranded 3. Strike 1. Last 78 games during the regular season, Ortiz hit 28 home runs. You talk about carrying an offense, and a very good offense at that. But being a guy that this Boston Red Sox team relied on, Ortiz was that hitter. Once the Boston organization traded Shea Hillenbrand at the end of May to the Diamondbacks to get Byung-Hun Kim, who's not even active for this ALCS, Ortiz took over as the primary DH. Takes the ball, it's 1-1. Look at what he's done this season. Career highs in home runs, RBIs, runs, batting average, hits, doubles. 18 game-winning RBIs, including that big Game 4 victory against the Oakland A's in Boston last Sunday. 2 out. 1 and 2 on Ortiz.
That's the first time that Andy Pettitte has thrown back-to-back fastballs inside the left-handers tonight. And that's what he must do. Posada setting up inside, and the Taylor tailing in on the hands of David Ortiz.
Opposite way, Jeter. Down to the Red Sox for the first time tonight. 1, 2, 3. Bottom of inning number 3. Yankees bat. Top of the order coming up. 2-1 New York. To be here. Glad you're with us. It's 2-1 Yankees as we go to the bottom of the third. Top of the order. Soriano, Jeter, Giambi against Lowe. Without a walk and a home run last inning. Ball 1. Soriano struck out his first time. Alfonso 5th this year in the AL with 38 home runs and 4th with 35 steals. This one's into left, not well hit. Manny Ramirez coming on. Nice play, 1 out. That will bring in Derek Jeter. And his numbers during the month of October are staggering. I'm not going to say the old Mr. October, but Reggie Jackson is always hanging around. We see him in Joe Torre's office before these games. And I wonder what he'll think of the new Mr. October with 107 hits as Jeter digs in. 0 for 5 in this ALCS.
Reggie Jacks throwing out the first pitch last night here at Yankee Stadium.
With 1 out. Ball 1 low and away.
Now, we said it last night. There may be shortstops more talented. Alex Rodriguez certainly. Nomar Garciaparra perhaps. But nobody rises to the occasion of postseason baseball like Jeter.
This is a guy who's been involved in it from the very beginning of his big league career. One big hit after another. Tied up by Lowe in the count 1 and 2.
He and Joe Torre are tethered at the hip. Joe Torre's first year as a manager was 1996. Derek Jeter won the Rookie of the Year that year. Joe Torre loves his enthusiasm, obviously his talent, his love of the game, his diligence.
He's also been seen tethered to George Steinbrenner on the Conga line as he's on with a little dribbler for a 1-out infield hit.
I think George was several people back, was he not?
Well, yeah.
There was some others tethered to Derek in that commercial.
Miller had no chance to do anything with this, and it's 1-on, 1 out for Giambi. Giambi walked his first time. Still really looking to settle into the postseason and get into some kind of groove. We were here in game 2 of the division series when the runners on at second and third. Minnesota Twins elected to pitch to Giambi instead of walking him to load the bases with 1 out. And he singled up the middle for his only 2 RBIs of this postseason. Strike 1.
It's a hard out for Lowe in this situation. You have to pitch Giambi inside. As Veritek out to talk to Derek, you have to pitch him inside, and it's hard for a sinker baller to get inside on a left-handed hitter unless it's a 2-strike tailing fastball or so.
Right. I mean, like I said, I think the only reason he's throwing it in there is he doesn't want Jason to swing it. He wants to bring it back across the plate and get a called strike on it.
Kind of looked to me like Derek Lowe was upset about something. It wasn't just a strategic meeting between Pettitte and Lowe. I think Pettitte went out there to try to calm down Lowe a little bit for whatever reason. But looking in toward home plate, either at the umpire or Giambi, is the 0-1 pitch. Heads home. And a base hit into left field. One of the few times he'll go the other way. And it's first and second with only one out.
That is a sweet piece of hitting by Jason Giambi. Sometimes if you take swings like this, that gets you out of slumps because of that front shoulder. You keep it in there. Really an outstanding sinker by Lowe, but taken the other way by Giambi.
And now a big chance for the Yankees, already up 1 with 2 on, 1 out, and Bernie Williams up. Right side base hit. Jeter coming home. The throw by Nixon. Too late. 3-1.
Jeter not the fastest of base runners, but his instincts are remarkable. If you're throwing to a base to try to throw out Derek Jeter, just forget it. Throw it to another base. He's been tagged out only 10 times the last 4 years. That's other than caught stealing.
It's a 2-run Yankee lead, and we talk football. Fox NFL Sunday begins America's #1 pregame show. Then the Buccaneers try to rebound from Monday's heartbreaking loss. They take on the Redskins. They have been a surprise so far this season. And speaking of surprises, the Dallas Cowboys host the Philadelphia Eagles. And it's the other New York-Boston battle. The Giants travel to New England. Our other regional action. It all begins noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox. Here's Posada. And there's a strike. Derek Lowe is always one good sinker away from getting out of a jam. Looking for that double play ball. Giambi at second, Williams on at first. Hard hit, and Jackson drops it. Throw to second, still safe. They had 2 shots at an out. And it's bases loaded, 1 out, and Jackson's in the game for his defense.
Yeah, they had the best shot for 2 outs, easily. Jackson trying to flip it before he had it.
Yeah, and he just wanted to get that double play, and, you know, he didn't make sure he caught it before he got it. I've done it. It doesn't feel very good.
But even after that, he had a chance to recover and get Williams going to second, and he short-hopped Garciaparra.
Bernie Williams has to hold up at first base. Now the ball gets through, and it gets through Garciaparra too.
So the bases are loaded. It's an error on Damian Jackson. 1 out, and Matsui is at the plate. Strike 1. Jeff Suppan, the right-hander, the Red Sox got from the Pirates, getting loose. To the right side, Millar will come home for the out. That's it, 2 out. Force out 3-2. The bases are loaded for Nick Johnson.
That's what Booney and I were talking about the last inning. The first baseman or third baseman determining the speed of the ball and then coming home if it's hit too slowly.
Well, I think in that situation, I think Pettitte Millar, if it's hit hard at him, I think he's still going home to first anyway. Being right-handed instead of having to turn and throw to second.
Giambi with an important hit. Jeter got this started with an infield hit, a slow roller down the third baseline. And now Johnson, who homered his first time up. Bases loaded, 2 out. Yankees up by 2. Strike 1. Last inning. A no-downer to right. Lowe has been stretching out that right shoulder after just about every pitch. One ball, one strike. And if he doesn't have all his stuff here tonight, who could claim him for the action he had in the division series? Relief in game 1, a start in game 3, and the closer in essence in game 5. Garcia Parra. Inning is over. So after all that, the Yankees come up with only one run on 3 hits plus an error. They strand 3, have left 4. We go to the 4th, 3-1 New York. Brought to you by Runaway Jury, October 17th, only in theaters. By HP. HP Technology, services and people help make more things more possible. By Nutri-Grain Granola, an energized way to respect yourself in the morning. And by Taco Bell, think outside the bun. Dong.
Damian Jackson apologizing to Derek Lowe. No need to apologize to anybody. If pitchers don't apologize for hanging sliders, you shouldn't have to apologize to them for making an error. No harm anyway, because that error did not lead to a run.
Millar now, who had a bases loaded opportunity his first time up and popped up, is at the plate leading off in the 4th. It's 3-1 New York. Two and 1. It'll be Millar, then Varitek, then Nixon if anybody gets on Damian Jackson. Another pop-up off the bat of Millar. Soriano. 1-1. Here's Varitek. A double leading off in the 2nd inning. It's followed by a hit by Nixon and a hit by Damian Jackson. The run was home, 2 on, nobody out. The Red Sox were up by 1. Kapler bounced into a double play. Miller grounded out. I'll say again, we are led to believe that, and the word was hopefully, as the first pitch is outside for a ball to Varitek. Johnny Damon will play on Saturday. That, according to manager Grady Little. He used that word. And if the way he took batting practice is any indication, I would say not only will he be in there on Saturday, but you can't really cross him off the list here tonight later on in the game.
Johnny Damon has missed 32 games in his 2 years with the Red Sox. And in those 32 games, the Red Sox have scored a run less in those 32 games. In each game, they've averaged a run less. That's how important he is to this offense.
On 2-1, Varitek hits it foul. Ooh, dangerous foul ball. And it's a 2-2 count. Let's check in with Kenny Albert. Kenny?
Joe, I spoke with Johnny Damon after he took batting practice. He said it felt weird. He hit some hard, hit a few. He's going to take live BP against pitchers tomorrow. Still targeting Saturday. Now, I asked him if he's going to shave his head. He said the guys are working on me, but it's a no-go.
So a no-go for Damon on the head shaving. And Nomar Garciaparra gets a pass because his wedding to Mia Hamm's coming up. 2-2 pitch. Another pop-up. Foul ground. Nick Johnson, 2 out. With the bases empty, Nixon's coming up. Now tomorrow, baseball's postseason continues at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific here on Fox. Game 3 of the NLCS. They're in Miami. The Cubs' Kerry Wood takes on the Marlins' Mark Redmond. And that series is tied at a game apiece. Sports' biggest month of the year continues tomorrow, only right here on Fox. The 2 out, nobody on. Here's Nixon. Trot a base hit his first time up. 3 of 4 in this series.
He's starting to come back inside on left-handers. He did it to David Ortiz. Now he does it to Nixon. A left-handed batter facing a left-handed pitcher has to have the fear of the tailing fastball. Otherwise, he can dive out over the plate.
It's the thing, it's second time through the lineup, too. I think he wants to give these guys a different look.
3-0 the count on Nixon. You saw Damian Jackson is waiting on deck.
With the exception of very few left-handed pitchers, Sandy Koufax comes to mind. If they constantly stay away, the left-handed batters, the left-hander will eventually get them. Koufax was overwhelming.
On 3-1. Full count. Inside corner.
It's just a totally different situation, lefty against lefty, than it is righty against righty, or any other situation. That's why the good left-handed hitters have to keep their shoulder in. That's why they're vulnerable inside.
Well, and also when the pitcher gets into a little bit of a bind, that's the safety to go, to throw a strike in the outer half of the plate.
Right.
Nixon checked his swing on ball 4 in the dirt. So a 2-out walk. In case fans wonder what the atmosphere is like when you meet with these managers before the game, these are 2 of the more laid-back guys that you'll find. Now, Grady Little is laid back, you would imagine, in any circumstance. And if you wonder if Joe Torre and the pressure cooker of New York and managing for George Steinbrenner and all the expectations, big payroll, $180 million payroll, what's his future? He's basically kicked back in his chair behind his desk, just telling you what he thinks. And he is in no way, shape, or form worried about this series or the immediate future with his spot with this Yankees team. And according to him, all the stuff with Steinbrenner this year is no different than it's been in any other year. It's just that this season it was made more public. And he had quite a few new players to try and introduce that to. See what the temperature is like in the clubhouse from time to time, and that's really his job, to kind of keep that all separate from these players, and that's why he's been so successful here in New York. No balls, 2 strikes on Jackson.
He is one of the most unflappable people I have ever met. A lot goes on inside, but not outside.
Runner goes. Pitch in the dirt, and a good pitch for Nixon to take off. He steals second. And the hit could make it a 1-run game.
Good jump by Trot Nixon to take that base. If they're going to give it to you, take it. Actually, they're not giving it to him, but I guess Andy Pettitte didn't think Nixon would run.
Jackson already has 1 RBI hit. stays 1-2. Yankees here in the 4th inning, game 2, trying to even this series before Pedro Martinez and Roger Clemens hook up on late Saturday afternoon. Inning over. High heat, and Jackson could not catch up. The Red Sox are stranded 5, and after 3.5, trail by 2. For New York, Boone, Garcia, then back to the top, Soriano. It's 3-1 Yankees. Aaron Boone, so far, he is hitless in this series. 0 for 4, and he takes a ball low and away. Joe Torre in our little managers meetings directs a lot of his quotes toward you, Brett, and about managing your brother Aaron, saying, I know he's frustrated with the way he's hitting the ball, but he is so solid at third base, and we've already seen him make a very good play to save a run back in the 2nd inning on that ball dribbled by Miller. But he's going to keep sticking him out there until he gets into a groove as he comes up empty with a count 1-2 now. Derek Lowe.
Well, he's got the easier Boone to manage.
Well, that's for sure. This guy conforms a little more.
So he's got that going for him.
Which is nice.
Oh, stop it. The conform. Reading newspaper clips.
No, I just I know the both of you. You better now than I did before, and I'm more convinced now than ever. Boone's hit, and the leadoff man is on for the Yankees.
Derek Lowe trying to come inside to Aaron and hits him. That was a double pop right there, off of Aaron Boone's stomach to Veritek's shoulder. Ooh.
Now Garcia. Kareem grounded out his first time. Here's a guy who started the season in Buffalo, was with Cleveland hitting 194, and then came to the Yankees at the end of June. '52 games with New York. Overall, he hit 11 home runs, drove in 35. Runner goes. Boone takes off. Throw down is high. Stolen base, Aaron Boone.
Aaron with 8 stolen bases on the season. He was not caught. That may have been a hit and run. A lot of times when a pitcher throws it so far inside, you can't swing at it. It's almost self-preservation. He had such a good jump, however, probably a straight steal.
Now a 1-0. Garcia taps it foul. Soriano on deck, and then Jeter. Pettitte seems to be finding his groove on the mound for the Yankees. Lowe is still searching for his. He walked the leadoff man in the 2nd, gave up the 2-run homer to Johnson, gave up 3 straight singles in the 3rd to make it 3-1. Two balls and a strike. The starter on Saturday. Back to Fenway Park, where they gave Roger Clemens a standing ovation. What they thought would be his last appearance there. He's coming back as Garcia advances Boone to 3rd. 1 out now.
Well, Saturday will definitely be his last appearance there.
Although I've heard you hedge on it. You're not totally convinced.
I'm not. I think December, January rolls around. I think there is a chance that Roger Clemens could change his mind and perhaps pitch next year, and that's just an opinion.
Well, we've talked earlier in the season that if he does walk away, he is going to be one of the few athletes to walk away when they are still extremely effective. You think of the game he pitched just last week on that Saturday at the Metrodome. He was overpowering.
He's the hardest throwing retired pitcher in the history of baseball.
Soriano now with a runner at third, 1 out. Strike 1.
Roger will probably sign up with one of those Saturday beer league teams to just blow people away.
Infield is in as strike 2 comes into Soriano.
There's that tailing fastball. More of a tailer than a sinker.
Soriano 91 runs batted in during the regular season. Runner at third, 1 out here. The Yankees already up 2. Chased it, 2 out, and a big strikeout for Derek Lowe.
Well, was that a surprise?
That's the first slider he's thrown tonight.
He misses with the first fastball. Beg your pardon. He hit with the first fastball. So good morning, good afternoon, and good night. But that was the first slider that we have seen from Derek Lowe. Totally fooled Soriano and us too.
Yeah. You save it for the right time.
Yeah.
The Yankees now 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. And it's up to Jeter looking for the 2-out RBI hit. Grounds to Garciaparra. Good work by Lowe to get around the hit batsman, the stolen base. Yankees had a runner at second, nobody out, and do not score Boone. Still 3-1 after 4. Back after this from your local Fox station. He will deal with the top of the order for Boston. That means Kapler, Miller, and Garciaparra. Kapler is 1 for 2, but the time he was retired was in a key spot. He was up with runners at first and second, nobody out, a run already home, and he bounced into a 6-3 double play. He takes a strike over the outside corner. Kapler, a guy who was released by Colorado, signed by Boston, had a big opening weekend and debut with the Red Sox, popping a couple of home runs. But overall with Boston, hit a total of 4 and a .291 average. It's 0-2. And a tap foul, and Posada was going to let it roll in case it decided to hop on the other side of the line.
Yeah, let it develop. Just because it hits foul doesn't mean it can't roll fair. Watch Posada. It's right behind the plate. Jorge was going to pick it up, and he thought.
On 0-2. High heat. Kapler is down, and that is strikeout number 3 for Andy Pettitte.
High fastball got Damian Jackson to end the 4th inning. Now to open the 5th, a high fastball.
Bill Miller ended up winning the American League batting title. You see, as the Red Sox hit the ball this season in those major league records, we'll have a chance to go back to it. If not, they set major league records in extra base hits, total bases, slugging percentage. And you know how in baseball talk they always say, well, it's not like they were beaten by the 27 Yankees. Well, they took care of a record that was held by the 27 Yankees with a slugging percentage of .491. 29 home runs in 20 games against the Yankees, and that includes the 3 that they hit here last night. 1-2 on Miller. Two and two. That little space that Pettitte uses to peek in at the catcher's getting smaller and smaller. Cut a little hole in his glove.
I was thinking the same thing. I mean, how does he pick up his catcher? It's not a bad idea, because by having it in that little slit, you rule out the hitter. Better if a pitcher plays an elevated game of catch with his catcher. Forget about the hitter.
2-2. Miller stays up there. There's no doubt that Andy Pettitte has settled into a nice groove. A walk in the 4th inning. Other than that, he has been dominant since early trouble. Miller jammed in a short hop, picked up by Jeter. 2 out.
Good play by Derek Jeter. Even though that ball rolling around in the glove, he never really had a good grip of the ball in the glove.
It's Garcia-Parra now with all those idiosyncrasies that he has before getting in. In fact, Derek Jeter had a little imitation of Nomar Garcia-Parra in the All-Star game a few years ago.
1999. What a memorable night that was at Fenway. Ted Williams coming onto the field. One of those nights you never forget.
That scene right around the home plate area with all of the All-Stars crowding around Ted Williams. As Garcia-Parra fouls away strike 2. We go back to that season, and it was Garcia-Parra who started. Jeter replaced him, and as a little tribute to him, did the Garcia-Parra footwork in the batter's box. Two and two on Nomar. Line drive, base hit. Reaching for it, Garcia-Parra hit it hard, pulled it into left, and it's a 2-out single, and that brings in Manny Ramirez.
Takes some strong hands when your rear end goes one way and the bat head is right on the button.
Now it's Ramirez. Manny popped out to right his last time up. Singled his first time. Takes the ball. Ramirez finished second in the American League, hit .325, 7th with 37 home runs. As we've told you, he has handled Andy Pettitte in his career. On the outside corner, it's 1-1.
You could put a lot of other left-handers in the American League in that category. He led all right-handed batters, all batters, period, hitting left-handed pitching this year. He eats left-handers up.
Miller with a short lead, and in this spot you wouldn't figure, or rather Garciaparra, in this spot you wouldn't figure he's going anywhere.
No.
With a home run threat and Manny Ramirez at the plate. One ball, one strike, 1 on, 2 out. That's out of play, strike 2.
You can see the frustration on Ramirez. He shook his head the last time up, and now this time upset with himself.
Into right field, Garcia going back, inning over. A 2-out hit by Garciaparra, and Karim Garcia back to take care of Ramirez and the Red Sox in the 5th. We've seen McCartney in those seats, we've seen Denzel, and now we see Chris Rock hanging out watching the Yankees.
Timeshare seat.
Yeah.
If you're a celebrity, you got a shot at purchasing a piece of that seat. Jason Giambi first up for the Yankees against Derek Lowe, and he takes a strike. That's John McEnroe, for those of you who can't recognize him. 0-1 pitch.
He will make you watch a tennis match.
Yes, he will.
The Donald is down to our left.
The Donald can only be Donald Trump.
Yes.
There's only one, the Donald.
1 ball, 1 strike. Bernie Williams will follow, and then Posada. Right back to Lowe. What a play.
How about that play? Talk about sucking it up. Man. Check this out. A one-hopper, a scorcher back through the box. Look at that. Little flip. Nothing to it, huh, Derek? Piece of cake.
I don't like those plays.
You're a hitter, of course not.
Almost literally took the glove off his hand.
It did. Looked like
Lowe able to get the out.
Looked like a cesta hanging onto his left hand.
Here's Williams. One for 2 tonight. Ball 1.
I was going to say, Joe, speaking of celebrities that come to Yankee Stadium, I'll never forget Paul McCartney directing traffic after Game 5 of the 2001 series. About 40 yards from the press entrance, there's Paul McCartney directing traffic.
Maybe you have to do a little work to sit in those seats.
Well, perhaps.
Nothing comes for free.
Clean up the dugout.
Whatever it is.
Rudolph Giuliani put him to work 2 years ago.
He's here too. Right on cue. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on, and Bernie Williams takes ball 2.
The most rabid fan of all the celebrities, stars that come here. Billy Crystal, a huge baseball fan. Mayor Bloomberg. Billy Crystal saw David Ortiz yesterday, and he said he had a tattoo as big as he was.
3 balls and a strike on Bernie Williams. Lowe deals, and a line drive in the left is going to get down. And scoop to the wall. Bernie Williams will have at least 2. It's a 1-out double.
Saw Jason Giambi take that sinker the other way. And Brett, you mentioned second time through the order. This is the third time through the order. And left-handed hitters in particular become more comfortable with that sinker.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think as a pitcher, you know, that's what I was saying. When a pitcher needs a strike, 90% of the time they're going to go to the outside part of the plate. I mean, that's a safety zone because most guys want to pull balls. I mean, but if you haven't got a hit a couple times up, I think you're going to look to hit the ball the other way. That wasn't a bad pitch.
No.
It was just a good piece of hitting.
Now it's Posada with Williams at second, 1 out.
A lot of money the other way.
Off the end of the bat, shallow left. Plenty of time for Ramirez, 2 out.
Of all the pitches that Lowe has thrown tonight, that was the toughest to pick up. It looked like a splitter or a straight change. Sometimes that sinker will do that. I guess it was a sinker. But it totally fooled Posada.
I didn't see, you can tell by the speed. If the speed came up, I didn't see it.
Posada way out in front.
I think it was just what we talked about in the opening, was just taking a little bit off that sinker, giving you a little different, you know,
different look.
Yeah, maybe brought it down to 85 versus, you know, it's a BP sinker.
Now it's Matsui with a runner at second, 2 out. Ball 1. So far, the Yankees 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position tonight. Matsui trying to change that. Time called at the plate by Pettitte. This is about as subdued an ALCS Yankee Stadium crowd as we have heard in a long while. And I don't know if it's the pace of the game or the way Lowe is delivering these pitches, the time elapsing between them. But while this thing started out hot and heavy and the crowd was making a lot of noise, they have to be urged on by the stadium sound system to make some noise as the count is 1-1 on Matsui.
I'll bet you if Matsui gets a hit, you'll hear it.
Well, there's no doubt.
Or is that stating the obvious, Joe?
It's all right. We accept that. Runner at second, 2 out. And a ground ball right side. There's your base hit. Here comes Williams. Throw by Nixon, cut off. Run scores. Matsui hung up. And the inning comes to a close. So the Yankees add to their lead with a 2-out RBI base hit by Matsui. It's now 4-1 after 5 here in Game 2 of this ALCS.
A man wanted to take a goat to a game in Chicago.
Which
now,
is
why
natural.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, your pet goat. And he was not allowed entrance to the ballpark. And he was quoted in the paper the next day saying the Cubs will never win another World Series. Well, they haven't won one since. That's the Billy Goat curse, as I understand it. That happened back in 1945.
I mean, he really liked the goat. That's lined into left field off the bat of Pettitte and out. A home run that makes it a 2-run game. A line drive home run hit by Pettitte to make it 4-2 here in the 6th. Third home run of this postseason for the Boston catcher, and with 2 out, it's 4-2.
Boy, that was a tracer to left center field.
Pettitte trying to do all he can to pump up his teammates down in that dugout. Prior to that shot had been shut down by Andy Pettitte.
Again, a cutter. Andy Pettitte tried to get inside. over the inside part of the plate, lasered to left.
Nixon's backed out of there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Can you imagine that exchange? I'll take 2 seats, 2 of your best. 1 for me and 1 for my goat.
Might need 2 seats for the goat.
And Ed Hillel.
Here comes Mel Stottlemyre.
Just say it again.
No, I can't. I'm Ed Hillel'd out. Stottlemyre's going to come out and talk as the count's gone to 1 and 2. And
I don't know if that's so funny.
I don't either. You're hung up on Ed Hillel.
It just gives a warm feeling to them.
Jose Contreras is getting loose for the Yankees, and they're, I would imagine, buying time. Kind of a strange time to visit with a count of 1 and 2 and 2 out, nobody on here in the inning.
It is. Yankees are 4 outs away from Mariano Rivera if they have a lead.
Andy Pettitte, a potential free agent at the end of the year. We asked him about what's to come in his career.
The kids start getting a little bit older. You know, I have 3 kids. They're getting at the age now where they want to be home. You know, they want to be in Texas, and, you know, they want to do their stuff. So, you know, you're away from your family a lot. You come here to New York and the atmosphere, and you come here and you play in front of these fans and the crowds, and being able to get to October, you know, it makes it all worth the while, that's for sure.
Buck Showalter earlier in this postseason said it's assumed that he is in play for us with the Texas Rangers. As Nixon checks his swing and the count's full, he said we are going to drastically cut payroll, and unless he's willing to accept a deal that would be below market value, people can't assume that we're just going to jump on Andy Pettitte because we need pitching and he's from Texas. It's stunning to me that they would even consider letting him walk away from here.
I don't think they can.
3-2 pitch. Nixon stays up there with a foul tip.
Roger Clemens retiring. David Wells, what, 39? Joe Torre's insistence on starting pitching. David Wells will be the starter in Game 4. That'll be Sunday night. Jon Burkett will be his opponent.
A 3-2 pitch to Trot Nixon with 2 outs. In the air to center field, and Williams back to get it. In the inning for the Red Sox. A home run with 2 out by Jason Pettitte. Boston creeps a little closer. Bottom of the 6th inning. After this from Pettitte, it's 4-2. Pitch, Nick Johnson takes, and at the knees for strike 1. Whatever happens here in the 6th inning, if Derek Lowe can keep it close, we are headed for a very important for the Red Sox 7th inning. Already they've had Contreras, the Yankees, getting loose out in their bullpen. There is out number 1. And that bullpen has some question marks in it getting to Mariano Rivera. Rivera will pitch 2 innings if the Yankees get the opportunity tonight. We saw Contreras getting loose, and I'm not so sure, guys, that Jose Contreras hasn't shot right to the top of the list in the setup role for Joe Torre in front of Nelson and any left-hander he can find down there.
Yeah, he was right there.
In the hole, Garciaparra with a back. Good play, 2 out.
He was right at the top, if not at the top, hovering around the top. And that performance last night against the Red Sox with that split finger fastball, I mean, that was impressive.
And I don't know how much the Red Sox have faced him this year. I didn't see him at all, but it was either that split finger was as nasty as it looked, or these guys just didn't know what to expect from him?
From what I've heard from the hitters with whom I've talked in the American League, it's as nasty as it looked. That was Jeff Weaver, by the way. And Jeff is not on the postseason roster.
2 out, nobody on, and Kareem Garcia is at the plate. He takes strike 1.
Oh, he is. I'll correct that. He is on the postseason roster. Chris Hammond's out. My correction.
2 out, nobody on, no balls, 1 strike. Weaver's only role, unless a game were to get to deep into extra innings, is that of a long reliever in case a starter has trouble early. Otherwise, he's going to be in that same position we just saw him, kicked back in the bullpen.
Yeah.
With 2 out, nobody on, here comes a 1-1 pitch to the number 9 hitter, Kareem Garcia. Damian Jackson takes care of that. It's a quick and easy 6th inning for Derek Lowe. We go to the 7th. It will be Jackson, Kapler, Miller coming up. A 2-run game back after this from your local Fox station. This series 1 game to none, and it's Damian Jackson in to lead it off. Jackson, Kapler, and Miller. Ball 1 from Pettitte, and there is Contreras getting loose. In for a strike. It's 1-1. On the corner, it's 1-2. 107 pitches tonight for Andy Pettitte.
Andy's gone away and away to run the count to 1-2. That cut fastball. Jackson set up for that pitch inside. Down, out of the strike zone.
A little squirter to Soriano. 1 away here in the 7th. Let's check in with Jeannie Zelasco for a game break. Jeannie?
Yes, the GOAT is in. Slammin' Sammy is out. He is not alone. We've seen 13 home runs in the NLCS. 14 is the record for the entire series. This one's been fun. Tomorrow, baseball's postseason continues, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, with Game 3 of the NLCS as the team shifts to Miami, where the Cubs. Kerry Wood takes the mound against the Marlins' Mark Redmond. Marlins, Cubs, and Goats. Oh, my.
Kind of frightening. Here's Kapler, the leadoff hitter in the lineup, and I think you could look back at that at-bat by Kapler in the 2nd inning when Andy Pettitte was really struggling. Kapler with 2 on and nobody out, bouncing into a double play, and now batting with 1 out, nobody on, and a 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. With Miller on deck. 1-2 on Kapler. Two and two. Two out. That's 5 strikeouts for Pettitte as he tries to get through this 7th inning.
That cut fastball diving out of the strike zone to Kapler. You could almost see that pitch. What happens on that pitch, and we talked about it before, pitcher puts pressure on the middle finger and actually cuts through the ball.
Miller takes the ball high.
from a left-handed pitcher. It goes in to a right-handed batter, and a great shot right there. Look at the middle finger of Andy Pettitte. You can almost feel Pettitte cutting through that pitch.
Two and 0 on Miller. Now 2-1. The big bat of Nomar Garciaparra waits on deck. Three and 1. If you have Nomar on deck, happy to have that black bat back in his hands. Last night he was using a white bat. Tonight back to Old Faithful, and he's 2 out of 3. Now he's coming up, and what I was leading to is you wonder how much longer Joe Torre is going to go with Pettitte. This could be it.
Talk about on cue. Nice call, partner.
Contreras is coming in. Garciaparra is coming up. A man on, 2 out, and the Yankees leading by 2 in the 7th. This crowd and these Yankees appreciate the work of Andy Pettitte. Another big game in the books for Andy Pettitte. He turned in a good one in Game 2 of the division series. He's done it since the Yankee run began back in 1996. And he gives way to Jose Contreras, who last night pitched 1 inning and struck out the side. Garciaparra up, the tying run at the plate, and he pops it up on the first pitch. Johnson, inning over. Quick and easy for Contreras, and Andy Pettitte and the Yankees are through the top of the 7th. Time to stretch here in New York. Pettitte did his good work tonight. Yankees lead by 2.
And I learned through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, white with frost. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Talk about a guy who never has an off night. Ronan Tynan nails that night after night after night. The League Championship Series on Fox is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. We talked earlier in the night about last night's disputed home run down that right field line. It was touched by Josh Mandelbaum. We had reaction from Ed Hillel. Our crack staff of reporters bring you fair and balanced reporting, and this was taken earlier today right on that pole.
Big story at Yankee Stadium is whether Todd Walker did hit the foul pole, yes or no, last night, and who we're going to turn to but Fox Sounds of the Game. This foul pole is mic'd tonight identically to how it was mic'd in every postseason game. If the ball did hit the pole, you would have heard a sound like this, and to prove it to you, let's close my mic right now. At worst, if it was deflected off the hand of a fan, it would have given you a light tap like this. So definitively, this Fox audio investigation will tell you that Todd Walker's ball did not hit the foul pole last night, and that is Fox Sports Sounds of the Game. Joe and Tim?
Very well done. And there it is. That ball never hit the pole.
No, come on.
What do you mean, come on?
Come on. Come on.
You know what it cost to bring Matt in here to do that?
I do not. Where'd he come? I don't know where he came from.
That's one of our guys. Get around and meet the guys, Tim. What have we been doing this since '96?
Matt, I'm sorry.
The point is, they listen to every audio channel. The ball never hit the foul pole, but as we said there graphically, it didn't hit the pole, but it would have hit the pole if not for the interference by
Matt,
Josh Mandelbaum.
Matt.
Meet
I'm
Matt.
sorry.
There, he's
Matt,
right there. He's 8 inches away from it.
Nice to meet you. That's a good job, too.
And that's
Thank
Al
you.
behind him.
How come we've never met? You've never introduced yourself to me.
The bottom of the 7th inning here with the Yankees batting up by 2. And Derek Lowe has turned in a solid start, but is on the short end of a 4-2 score. Soriano, Jeter, and Giambi. That's foul. I would say Soriano was ready for that pitch from Derek Lowe and pulled it a little too soon. It's 0-1.
Looks like Mariano Rivera is loosening up for the Yankees. Try to get the last 6 outs.
They like Contreras, but they don't like him more than the guy that's getting ready for the 8th inning.
Well, I think that's a weapon that not too many teams have. It's the luxury of being able to bring in the closer of Mariano's caliber and to be able to go 2 innings anytime.
That's rolled over to third. It's a foul ball. And when you talk about more than 1 inning,
I mean, he does 2 innings like it's no big deal.
Well,
I mean, he's one of the few guys that can do that.
21 of his 27 postseason saves have been for an inning plus. And we all remember in '96, it was Rivera for the 7th and 8th, and Wetland, who was the MVP of that '96 World Series, for the 9th. So they turned it into basically a 6-inning game as that misses outside from Lowe. And it's 2-2 with Sauerbeck getting loose for the Red Sox in their pen.
And then Wetland left the Yankees after '96, and the Yankees turned to Mariano Rivera, and he is the factor that separates the Yankees bullpen from the other team.
Yeah. One hop, ball comes back on Millar, and he's able to get to the base before Soriano won out.
I mean, when Rivera, and I've been watching his last few outings, he's got it going, and he's throwing like he's very capable of. And when you get to a postseason, basically it turns it into, for the Yankees, a 7-inning game.
But all you heard around here earlier in the year was that Mariano Rivera was losing it.
Well, I was facing him early in the year, and I didn't feel anything was lost. You know, I mean, he might have lost a mile an hour or 2 off his fastball, but really that's not big of a deal when you're throwing mid-90s.
In my view, it was foolish talk in the New York area.
I remember getting the question asked to me after we faced him here early in the year.
People who simply did not know. They based it on the results of a few ground balls through the infield, toppers down the third base line, little flares in the outfield. Just talk to the hitters, right, Brett, around the American League, and they'll tell you whether Rivera still has it or not.
He blew 2 saves this season against Boston. And it appears that it will be a 6-out. At least that'll be the attempt by Rivera. A 6-out save here tonight. Jeter at the plate, 1 out, nobody on. And Derek Lowe continues to turn in solid work. 2 balls and a strike.
I would imagine Scott Sauerbeck is getting ready for that man right there, Jason Giambi.
Then you've got the 2 switch hitters who are more dangerous left-handed after Giambi, so this could be it for Derek Lowe. 2-2. Lowe has allowed 4 runs on 6 hits, while the Red Sox against Pettitte had 2 runs on 9 hits. But 6 of those hits came in the first 2 innings. Two balls, 2 strikes. Full count. Left side, Miller to his left. 2 outs.